Morning, everyone. This is Lisa from Power Wheels for Success. Today we're talking about keeping your wheelchair clean. This is a little tricky because in the instructions, for the most part, you will see do not use any harsh chemicals, do not get your wheelchair wet, do not. So we're going to put some tips in here on how to keep your wheelchair clean, especially at this time during COVID, where you are touching it and your caregiver might be touching it and you're going into hospitals or clinics and your chair is going to get dirty. So it's really important to keep it clean. So how to do that if you can't get it wet. So I'm going to give you some tips. But one thing I'm going to tell you right off the bat is that your wheelchair and water do not mix. Your wheelchair and harsh chemicals don't mix either. So we're going to talk about how to handle this. So let me reach over here. Okay, I'm back. All right. So this is what I do. There are some videos out there and recommendations to take your wheelchair to volunteers to hose it down, and don't do that. If you look at your manual, it says do not get your wheelchair wet. Do not drive it in pouring down rain. Do not drive it in snow and those kind of things. And it's because it has a motor and batteries and it needs to stay dry no matter what. The location where you purchase your wheelchair has the ability to clean your wheelchair if you want to do that. But I do it on my own, and I'm going to show you how. Your manual is going to say no harsh chemicals, which is true because it's going to affect the paint on your wheelchair. It could affect your chair and dry out the material covering your chair, crack it, and then that's the end of it. You have to get your chair recovered and in the case of the motor repainted, and that's going to cost. So you want to avoid that. What I use is a bucket, of course, and I use Dawn. Dawn is not paying me anything for this commercial, but this is the Dawn I use. As we know, Dawn is very soft. It's not a harsh chemical, so I put a few drops into some water. I use a rag. I get it wet and I squeeze all the water out, just so it's damp. And then I wipe down my wheelchair. Once I'm done, I take another rag that is, I wet it with just regular water, no soap. I squeeze all the water out and just so it's damp, and I wipe down and take all the soap off. So that helps me keep the wheelchair clean and decent. So again, you want to use just a regular rag or a sponge if you want to. Squeeze all the water out, okay, just so that rag or sponge is just damp and has a little bit of soap. Wipe your wheelchair down, then take another one that's just water, squeeze it all out, just leave it damp and wipe all the soap off. And that's it. Make sure your wheelchair is completely dry at the end of that. So you want to take a dry paper towel or another rag and just buff your wheelchair. Make sure it's all dry. I cannot recommend that you take it to volunteers to hose it down or use any harsh chemicals that could damage your chair. Power wheelchairs are not water resistant yet, and they are not waterproof yet. I'm sure that at some point somebody will figure that out and make sure that we, in the future, hopefully, and create a power wheelchair that is water resistant, probably to start, and hopefully in the future we get a power wheelchair company that will design one that is waterproof, and then we don't have to worry about these things. But again, water and your wheelchair do not mix, and harsh chemicals in your wheelchair do not mix. The place where you purchase your wheelchair, sometimes they have special ways to clean your wheelchair if you want to check into that. if you want to do it yourself and you have this idea. But again, be careful. Just damp, okay? And make sure it's very dry. And you dry it off once you're done. So any questions or any suggestions down below, you can put your comments and questions. So hope to see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.